Yo, still bills, what's the diz? Yo, man, I'm leaving Target right now. I'm heading back to the Casa. Yeah, man, regular living, man. It's motherfucking New Year's Eve. Shit, nigga, it was just January, bro. Fuck. I guess so, man. But people, gang, we gotta get into this shit, man. And that is, man, I'm gonna try and be as diplomatic and sensitive as I could be on this topic. Even though I think it peaks of insensitivity, man. They are allowing trans women, allegedly, to compete in women's division for the Olympics, man. That is a crime against humanity. And that's just me being real and coming out and saying this shit, fam. Like, at some point, we are gonna have to take accountability as human beings and let it be known that just because you are going through an identity crisis, that does not mean you can transition into something that you're not. I have a relo, and from what I've been told over the years growing up, I may have told y'all about it. She hated the melanin in her skin. Beautiful girl. Beautiful girl. But that bitch of a mother of hers would consistently tear down my uncle, who was her father. To the point where I've been told she was suicidal because of it or whatever, man. Just the spaces that she's ingratiated herself in. They're just, it's white folk that she's around. Even her speech, man, like she has no connection to us at all outside of blood ties. You can't be around us because you don't talk like us. You don't sound like us. You ain't cut from the cloth that we cut from. So it's hard for she's snooty. You dig, real uppity, and it's like just like niggas is just supposed to kiss her ass and throw roses at her feet, and that's just not the business, bruh. So because of that, and she's not the only girl that I've seen go through this type of go through this shit or whatever, man. But because of that, she she's wanted to be white, which her mom is white. But nobody in society is. I'm one of them niggas. I'm not. You're not white. I'm looking you dead in your face. I don't give a fuck what your mom is, what your dad is. You're not a white person. You're not a white person. You're a light-skinned black girl. Biracial black woman. Black is always going to be your title, though, because that tells the story of who you are. Now, black people are not. I'm going on a tangent, but my kids aren't black enough to have a black baby with a non-black person. But they are black through me. You look at them and you're gonna see they cut from that cloth. Even though their bloodline is diluted, they're cut from that cloth. Yeah, them is niggas right there. Same with her. But my point is, she's hate the melanin that is just genetically, in her skin. It just permeates through her or whatever. The core, her hair texture, her skin, and all that. That is a black woman right there. And she will give everything that she has, and she's a successful woman in life. She will give everything that she has to be more like her mother, to be a pure white Aryan like her mother. My point is, you just because you're having an identity crisis, that does not mean you can transition into whatever it is that you want to be. This rhetoric that's going on about this trans movement or whatever, man, is getting to a point of ridiculousness. It's getting to a point of ridiculousness, and it's unfair to the biological women who are giving pushback about it. Why? Because you're putting them in harm's way. You're putting them in harm's way. You take away them testosterone blockers, you take away the surgeries or whatever that they go through. They have to do, these are genetically modified human beings, you know what I'm saying? So just you, and even with all of the all the pills and everything that they're pumping into their body, their natural genetics are going to permeate through that in some way, shape, or form. Especially when your adrenaline is pumping and it's time for you to get in there and rumble, and it's survival when you get in there. Strength, all of that shit is going to play a role in these fights. Y'all can't. It's so people are really being dismissive of women in society today, and just their plight. They're trying to make it to where they don't even have control of their bodies, and now you will allow a man who wants to masquerade as a woman You dig, to ingratiate their spaces. So now you as a woman can't even tell a man what it means to be a woman, because if he says he's a woman, he can get you fired from your job for saying he's not a woman. He can get you a you talking hate speech and all that shit. If you just tell this nigga, bro, you not no woman. You don't go through what we go through. You don't go through what we go through. So y'all can't even have your own bodies. Y'all can't have your own spaces. Y'all can't have your own bodies. And now you will put them in a scenario where it's a physical altercation that's about to take place, with all the women dying, with all the fighters dying in the ring. Mainly, I want to say since 2013, I've been, we've been averaging about 10 bodies a year in boxing. And you're going to take these niggas and put them in the ring with these women. What was Jeanette Zepeda last year, bro? Like, we can't, you can't play games with boxing. You can't play games. That is completely unfair and insensitive, man. When do we get back to respecting women? When do we get back to respecting women? When do we get back to respecting women, bro? This shit is a crime against humanity. Just think about how wild that is, man. In every sport, look at how they complain about WNBA basketball. It's not getting endorsed as opposed to the NBA. We don't get, we're very underpaid. I mean, let me see. Like, you think the highest paid athlete in the WNBA is probably what someone, a third string, a nigga that's buried deep at the end of the bench. He's probably making that same amount of money, and he's barely getting any clock. They complain about that, as they should. I'm not mad at it or whatever, man. They just, something has to be done to really, heighten and boost the marketability and the interest of women's basketball. Only real diehard basketball heads and, connoisseurs of the sport are going to appreciate, WNBA basketball. But we got to do something to, heighten the, boost the interest of that, of that league or whatever, man. They're complaining about that shit. Now, what happens when they start allowing when they allow dudes to go into this space right here and compete? They're going to be pushed out of the way. They're going to be pushed out of the way. Why? Because people watch NBA basketball to see niggas get blammed on. The athleticism behind the game. The strength behind the game. That's what niggas, that's why people watch the game. You want to see a high-flying, incredible dunk. You want to see niggas get tomahawked on and all that shit. Women can't provide that for you. It's an anomaly when a woman can do a one-handed dunk, let alone a two-handed dunk. You see, the reactions are different when you see a woman dunk with one hand and a man, that's ordinary mode. You got niggas 5'8" mile high dunking, flying and soaring through the air. So what I'm saying is, why, just at what point do we get back to being respectful to women, man? This can't continue. All the mental gymnastics and semantics that y'all play to try to justify this shit. Listen, man. Do what it is that you do. Do what it is that you do. I respect men who try to transition into women. I respect it. You dig? I'll do whatever it is I can do to refrain from having to call them by their pronouns, so it doesn't fuck up the interaction between us. I'll go, hey, what's good? What's good? I'm gonna say, hey, what's up, my dude? Or I damn sure ain't about to say, hey, what's up, shorty? How you living? How you doing? What's good? You dig? That's gonna be the interaction between us. Who you talking to? What's your name? You do it like that. I'll be judicious with it. You dig? I'm pretty cautious with my word arrangement. I'm pretty cautious with my word arrangement to not offend you on a personal level. But on this, in this instance right here, I just, nah, bro. I can't do it, bro. Nah. I respect you still, but you're gonna have to respect the spaces of women. And we have to preserve we have to preserve these women, bro. We have to uphold the integrity of what it means to be a woman. You don't get to play God and Dr. Kevorkian because you're having an identity crisis, man. We as human beings don't know what it means to be human. We ain't got a clue. You can come up with all the hypotheses you want to, but it's impossible for you to rewind back into the cerebral of the first human being that will, that came into being. It's impossible to do that. It is impossible to do that. It's impossible to do that. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all are playing with something that y'all don't understand, man. We don't have 100% capacity to our brain. And it ain't like our brain is so far out that we can't read. No, Brody. No. You feel your brain when you're too tired. When you're dizzy, you feel your brain. You feel it. You feel that more than you feel your heartbeat. You feel what's going on in your brain. You feel it. And it's right there. We don't have full capacity to it. You do not know, or you can't begin to fathom and understand what it means to be a human being, Brody. You cannot. You cannot. Whatever created us with such a certain level of complexity that you can't comprehend it, even though you're walking around and you as a human being, you can't comprehend it. I understand gender dysphoria. I get all that shit, bro. But you do not get to walk around in those spaces. You do not get to walk around in the woman's bathroom. You don't get to do that. You don't. You are endangering these women, man. And there's people, not all. I don't, just there's cases of men who they commit a crime and they say I identify as a woman and they get sent off to a woman's prison. That's dangerous. That is dangerous. And there's a gray area in those type of situations or whatever, because not all men who identify as women are predators. So there are men who identify as women that's gonna say, yo, I can't, I identify as woman because it's just like I don't want to have to deal with with them niggas over there. I'm a little bit more comfortable in a women's prison because the level of aggression isn't nearly as high, and I ain't got, I'm not at risk of being, sexually assaulted. But there are those men who will identify as a woman just to have sexual access to other women after they commit a crime, bro. Like, you can't do that shit. You cannot do that. And if you do, you can't expect somebody like me to just sit there and ignore the story that you're telling me with my eyes. No, bro. Like, no. My eyes aren't lying to me. It's really getting to a level of deviousness with this movement, man. Like, it just, why are you so against just creating another league that's, yo, this league right here, this division right here is for trans, it's for trans people. What's stopping you from doing that? Why do you have to go so hard to push this notion that there are women? Like, everybody is just supposed to accept them as women when you have women who aren't doing that. There are women giving resistance on this notion that they are women. Women are dropping out. It was a woman who dropped out of the Olympics. No, I'm not about to sit here and fight no man. I'm not about to do that. It's fucked up. Leah Thomas bro. You couldn't cut it as a fucking man, so now you want to sit up here and ingratiate yourself in women's sports, in women's spaces, and obliterate their world records and shit like that. And you expect niggas to not take issue with that. You expect women not to take issue with that. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. We're underpaid. We're still looked at. It's still a patriarchal society we live in, yeah. So you can't even lose to a woman and have a nigga respect you in a lot of places. You lost to her? Oh, hell no. Nigga, you lost to a chick, bro. You can't talk to me. You got beat up by a chick, you can't talk to me, bro. She beat your ass. You let that bitch beat your ass, nigga? Nah, I ain't fuck y'all. You a bitch, dog. I can't fuck with you. Stop getting beat up by bitches. That's the mindset of a lot of dudes. So, yeah, we still live in that society where women are kind of somewhat castigated and looked down upon. You're not supposed to lose to no woman. So, just they're not seen, in a lot of cases, they're not seen as, deemed as equals to us. That's a woman right there. That's a woman right there. So now that's not enough because a man can't cut it in a man can't cut it in those. All right, cool. I'm gonna just come over here and fuck with y'all. And they are supposed to respect that. They're supposed to honor that. They're supposed to embrace you as their own. They're supposed to embrace you as your own, even though you don't have the same bodily functions as them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is wild. That shit is wild. It's a reason why it's more men trying to transition into women as it is women trying to transition into men. There's a reason for that. Because on a subconscious level, you understand the biology behind it. A woman trying to transition into a man and ingratiate herself into the spaces of men. Even on the, when you talk about sports, let a woman trying to transition into a man go and, pad up with some men on the gridiron and watch what happens to that girl. It's easier to operate as a woman in certain spaces. We talking about athleticism, it's easier to operate as a woman. That is extremely unfair. That is extremely unfair. And a woman is held accountable and demonized if she lets it be known you're not a woman. You're not a woman. Their voices get ignored. You're not a woman. A trans man, a trans is trying to compete in boxing in the Olympics in the women's division, bro. That is criminal. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. And a lot of times, the motherfuckers who are the trans motherfuckers ain't even fully transitioned into what it is that they're trying to be. It's just too much leniency that's being afforded to this particular demographic of people. It's ridiculous. And I've encountered women who accommodate and concede to these motherfucking bullshit demands and notions. No, my nigga, no. Fuck no. Bro, it was crazy. I would never forget. I remember watching a clip on YouTube, and it was a trans, and this dude was talking about, I don't feel I should have to disclose my past to a potential partner in the future. So if this nigga found a dude that he liked, and they hit it off, and he had no idea that he was who he was in his past life, he feels he shouldn't have to disclose that information because I'm living in my truth right now. Why do I have to go back to my past? That's sexual assault, bro. That is sexual assault. Nobody has the gall to speak on that, though, because you don't want to be deemed as transphobic. I'm not scared of trans people. I'm not scared of trans people. You're welcome in my house. If I'm having a fight party, man, yeah, slide. It ain't no thing. I ain't tripping. You're welcome in my household. But it's just getting to a level of ridiculousness that I think is alarming, and at some point we got to take a stance on this shit. There should be no reason why a trans woman is trying to compete in a woman's division. It shouldn't even be allowed. That should not even be allowed. That should not even be allowed. Any commission that's allowing this shit needs to be brought to the courts, bro. No. That ain't hate speech. That ain't a hate crime. It's none of that shit. That is preserving and protecting women. The well-being of women. I don't give a fuck about no testosterone blockers and all that shit. I don't give a fuck about pumping estrogen pills into your system. I don't know the exact science on that shit. I honestly don't. But when that adrenaline gets pumping, at some point, maybe not in all cases, but at some point, your natural, the natural, what they call that, naturally your testosterone is gonna kick in. Naturally, your bone structure and your more denser muscles, all of that shit is gonna begin to play a factor in that fight. It's gonna begin to play, take a significant toll. Play a factor. The only good thing about this is we get to see Clarissa Shields potentially line it up with a dude. That's the only good thing about this. That's it. That's it. But after a while, the natural biology is just gonna permeate to the top. Biology is going to take its toll, and then testosterone blockers and estrogen pills is going to, they're going to be a lot. They're going to become that much more obsolete as the situation unfolds. You dig what I'm saying, motherfucker? If I'm tired and some wild shit happens and it's survival and my survival instincts kick in, adrenaline is immediately going to come into play and I'm going to be alert. You don't get to ignore biology because you're having an identity crisis. You don't get to do that. You don't get to do that. So don't talk to me about testosterone blockers and estrogen pills, bro. I don't want to hear it. It's unfair for them to do that. It's unfair. If y'all want to include trans folks, simply create a division for them. A separate division. You do not get to put women's lives at stake because some man is having a fucking identity crisis. That's brazy. Protect women. Protect women's bodies. Protect their space, their personal spaces. Protect their well-being and their health. They should not have to go through the bullshit that they're going through because you're having an identity crisis and motherfuckers got to be sympathetic towards your plight. Nah, fuck all that. I can be sympathetic towards your plight, but still stand 10 toes and give resistance when you're overstepping your boundaries. And in this case, you're overstepping your boundaries. And anybody who allowed this shit to happen, any sort of boxing commission, the Olympics, y'all are overstepping your boundaries. Y'all are overstepping your boundaries. Let's see a trans man get into the ring with another man. Let's see that happen. Let's see a trans man make the NBA, make the NFL, make the NHL, baseball, any kickboxing, MMA, anything like that. Let's see that happen. Why have we yet to see that? Man, stop playing with me, man. Anybody who is passing this shit is wrong as 2 left feet, man. And they do not respect nature. You cannot go against Mother Nature. You cannot do it. You do not get the right to tell Mother Nature she's wrong for creating you how you were, and I'm gonna fix it. You don't get to do that. You do not get to do that. You do not get to do that at all. Not if you're sympathetic towards the fairer sex. Stop playing games, man. Stop playing games. Create a lane for themselves. Create a lane for trans people. They got rights. You dig? I feel like they should be treated under, they shouldn't be mistreated. Their humanity should remain a priority. Their livelihood should remain a priority, just like any other human being. Biological male, biological woman, trans man, trans woman. They need to be respected and upkept. Their safety needs to be upkept just like anybody else. But women's needs to be upkept just like, it has been for, for decades, for centuries now. You don't get to put them in a compromised position because niggas is having an identity crisis, bro. That shit is unfair. And if someone goes in there and gets outlined in chalk, and I think at this point, you don't even have to wear headgear in the Olympics no more. That's unfair, my nigga. You got the game fucked up. Respect women's spaces, and respect manhood. Respect the dynamic between men and women. Respect that. Respect the physical dynamics between the two of us. And stop trying to ingratiate yourself in these spaces because you can't make it as a biological man, bro. That shit is unfair, man. I'm going in the house, man. Deuces.